Back to the show, Congressman Chip Roy from the House Rules Committee. It's good to see you again, sir. So we heard this news that there could be an attempt for a third vote tonight for House Speaker. Is that true?
Well, the last understanding I had from my friend Congressman Jordan was that he intended to go to the floor for a third vote. I remember, obviously, Speaker McCarthy went 15 rounds back in January. So after going 2 rounds, there's been a lot of conversations over the last several days, and I think Jim intends to go to the floor tonight. But I believe, as we speak, he's having some conversations with some of the holdouts, trying to see what might persuade them and what they might want to see in order to try to build the coalition. So I'm kind of waiting like you are. I've gotten a little bit of mixed signals, but last thing I understand from Team Jordan was that they expect to try to go to the floor tonight.
Go to the floor tonight. What do the holdouts want?
Yeah, now that's something I'm not sure about. I mean, and with all due respect to them, there's a lot of friends in that group. You know, when we were having our debates back in January with Speaker McCarthy, we were putting forward things we thought would make the institution better. Rules changes, things that would open the House up. And frankly, it worked pretty dang well. We got H.R. 2 passed. We got a strong defense bill passed. We passed Limit, Save, Grow. We passed a lot of bills that would empower parents and other things. And we wanted to change the institution. I hope these guys will give Jim a path, what they want to see to improve this institution and help us work for the people better. But we'll see. We'll see what comes out of this meeting.
Now, is it correct that you support Jim Jordan, but you also say no to empowering House Speaker Pro Tem Patrick McHenry? The plan was maybe do that until January to have a cool-off period for 3 months. But you say that's unconstitutional.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly constitutionally questionable. And I want to be very clear. This is not directed at Patrick. I mean, Patrick has been doing his job ably in the position he's in as the Speaker pro temp in the role following the vacating of the Speaker. My concern is that this would do something that is entirely unprecedented in the history of this institution, which is to empower a Speaker pro temp in the absence of a duly elected Speaker. We've never done that. I think that would be a dangerous path to go down, a slippery slope. I believe we have a duty under the Constitution, as is laid out, to choose the Speaker. It's very clear in the Constitution that that is our responsibility. Third in line to the president. Let's get it right. Let's do our job. And honestly, let's not leave town until we do it. That's our job. I will commit to doing that. I've got kids at home. I've got stuff that I'd like to be at. My son wants me to be at baseball games. But we need to be here doing our job. We should not leave Washington, D.C. until we choose a Speaker, period, full stop.
You know, Congressman, we've talked to D.C. watchers and historians. We've never seen Washington so divided. And it's both sides, but it's certainly former Speaker Nancy Pelosi accused repeatedly of being really nasty toward the other side. She's now accused of launching a vicious attack on Congressman Jim Jordan, that naming him Speaker is a, quote, an assault on our democracy. So she's not a uniter. Critics have said she's a divider. So you're dealing with that, too. Jim, you know, the quote is Jim Jordan assaulted our democracy on January 6th. What do you say to that?
Yeah, this is the fundamental problem that you just identified. Look, I've worked with some of my Democrat colleagues. I've moved bipartisan legislation before. But right now, we cannot work with our Democratic colleagues to address the concerns that my constituents care about. They have no interest in securing the border. They have no interest in stopping the cartels moving fentanyl into our communities. No interest in standing with Israel versus Hamas for the most part. No interest in stopping deficit spending. No interest in making sure our military is focused on the mission instead of being more woke and engaged in social engineering. We need partners in this, and they refuse. So what you're seeing open in live display is the Republican conference doing all of the work to stand in the breach against a out-of-control Biden administration, Chuck Schumer and the Pelosi Democrats that are under the tutelage of Hakeem Jeffries right now, who, by the way, has said some outrageous things in the past, and he has never apologized for those things, and that's worth a discussion in and of itself.
Congressman, are they getting the wake-up call from Wall Street? We've got Wall Street titans like Stanley Druckenmiller and Mohamed El-Erian. They're top Wall Street titans. They're saying Fed official statements. The Fed's officials are no longer moving the markets. They're warning the bond market, which sets bank mortgage and, consumer loan rates, could be broken because Congress and the White House can't stop overspending, flooding the Treasury market with more and more bonds. Are they hearing that wake-up call?
I hope so. This is one of the key considerations, and I got to be honest, all right? This is at the core of the fight right now. You have the status quo in Washington. You have people here who want more of the same. Those of us who are trying to change it, to end the $2 trillion deficits, to stop racking up 33, now going on $34 trillion of debt. The institutionalists in this town, the people who favor the status quo, the establishment, if you will, they don't want us to change things. They want us to just write more blank checks for our military, for Ukraine, for wanted unended spending for the federal bureaucracy. I think we need to stop that for the betterment of our constituents. Inflation is a direct consequence of the government spending that members of Congress refuse to address. Yeah. That is front and center in this fight right now, and we're going to hold the line for the American people, because we work for our constituents. We work with our colleagues, and there's a difference.
Well, San Francisco Fed researchers, also Chicago Fed researchers, said yes, fiscal overspending is causing inflation, helping to drive it. Congressman Chip Roy, a pleasure having you on tonight, sir. Thank you so much.
Good to be on. God bless.
Okay, the Israel-Hamas